Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be talking about Bob Lazar.
Oh yeah, Bob Lazar.
Yeah, and we're going to be using
Very controversial figure.
very controversial. Yeah,
In ufology, yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So we're going to be using this article to kind of guide our deep dive today.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And it's going to be a really interesting one, I think.
I think so too.
So Bob Lazar,
His story's fascinating.
it is fascinating.
Even after all these years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It still sparks debate.
It really does.
It's inspired documentaries.
Oh yeah, tons of them.
It's amazing. And it kind of seems like he's foreshadowed some of these recent UAP developments.
It's really interesting.
So that's what we're going to be unpacking for you guys today.
Yeah, we're going to be taking you back to 1989
Okay.
to the heart of the Nevada desert.
Ooh.
And right into one of the most controversial stories in ufology,
Here we go.
the claims of Bob Lazar.
All right, so picture this. It's 1989, the Cold War is winding down, and out of nowhere, this guy, Bob Lazar,
Okay.
comes forward claiming he worked on reverse engineering alien spacecraft
Wow.
at a secret base
The secret base.
called S4 near Area 51.
Near Area 51, so not even Area 51.
Right nearby.
Wow, okay.
And not just saw them, he actually worked on them.
Wow. Okay, so
Well-
he's claiming to be like a physicist
Yeah.
working on these things.
That's his claim.
Okay, and what kind of details did he give about the...
Oh, he wasn't shy about the details.
Okay.
So Lazar described these craft as disc-shaped,
Okay, the classic...
metallic,
Mm-hmm.
and with a propulsion system that he called gravity propulsion.
Gravity propulsion.
Gravity propulsion.
So like manipulating gravity.
Exactly. So imagine warping space-time itself,
Okay.
creating a sort of dip that the craft falls into, pulling it along.
So like...
It's kind of like if you can imagine like a sheet
Yeah.
and you put a ball in the middle,
Yeah.
the ball creates a dip and anything rolling nearby would get pulled towards it.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So they're like warping space-time and creating a dip, and then they just kind of fall into it.
Exactly.
Wow, that's pretty out there.
Yeah, that was straight out of science fiction at the time.
Yeah, because this is way before
Way
the
before.
Pentagon is acknowledging UAPs or releasing videos or anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So his claims were like way out there.
They were out there.
Yeah.
But you have to think about the context of the time.
Okay.
Back then, UFOs were largely seen as a fringe topic.
Totally, yeah.
It was like for conspiracy theorists.
Right.
And late night radio.
Yeah, it was like a joke.
Exactly. But Lazar, claiming to be a physicist with firsthand experience,
Okay.
brought a new level of supposed scientific credibility to the conversation.
Right, because he's claiming to have actually worked on these things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
totally.
that was something that hadn't really been there before.
Right. Okay, so he's spilling all these secrets, and then what happens?
Well, bam, he gets fired
Oh, no, why?
for taking friends to watch a test flight.
He took his friends to watch a test flight of one of these saucers.
Of one of these saucers, yep.
Oh, no.
A local sheriff catches wind of it.
Oh, so they got in trouble.
They got in trouble.
Okay.
Let's just say the government wasn't thrilled about unauthorized alien joyrides.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine that.
So it all sounds a little like a movie.
It really does.
But that's part of what makes Lazar's story so captivating.
Right. It's just got that mystery.
It
And it
does.
just makes you want to know more.
It's that blend of high-tech science and government cover-ups and allure of the unknown.
Yeah, it's got all the ingredients for a great story.
It does, but of course, such a wild story was bound to attract scrutiny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it got.
So what happened?
Well, some people came out and said, hey, wait a minute, there are inconsistencies in Lazar's education.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
He said he had degrees from MIT and Caltech,
Uh-huh.
but when they checked, those institutions had no record of him.
Oh, so like he's lying about his credentials.
It definitely raised some questions.
That's a big red flag.
It's a big red flag.
Yeah.
And then there was also the issue of his supposed employment verification.
Now, what happened there?
Lazar produced a W-2 form as proof he worked for the Department of Naval Intelligence.
Okay, so like a pay stub.
Yeah, like a pay stub.
Uh-huh.
But that department doesn't exist.
Oh, it doesn't.
It's the Office of Naval Intelligence.
Oh, wow.
So that's a detail that for some undermined his credibility.
Right, if you're going to make up a story, at least get the government agency right.
Right.
Yikes.
And then on top of that,
Oh, there's more.
to make matters worse, he was also involved in a criminal case
Oh, no.
around the same time.
What was he doing?
It was all pretty messy, and for a lot of people it felt like a motive to invent this elaborate tale to deflect attention from his legal troubles.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It was not a good look.
Yeah, not a good look at all. But what's so interesting is that despite all of this, his story didn't just fade away.
It really didn't.
It had this strange staying power.
It did. And you know what? In 2018,
Okay.
it came roaring back into the public eye.
What happened in 2018? What happened in 2018?
His documentary.
Documentary.
Yeah.
About Lazar.
Okay.
By filmmaker Jeremy Corbell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this put Lazar back in the spotlight.
Okay.
And he even started appearing on popular podcasts like Joe Rogan's,
Yeah.
reaching a whole new audience.
Right. And this was also when the Pentagon
Exactly.
officially acknowledged UAPs
Perfect timing.
and released those crazy videos.
The gimbal.
The gimbal and Tic
Just
Tac.
Tic-Tac.
The ones that like went super viral.
Yep. And suddenly what the Tsar had been describing for years,
Uh-huh.
objects performing maneuvers beyond our understanding of physics.
Right.
It was being captured on camera
Yeah.
by military pilots.
By military pilots.
It made people go back and revisit what he'd been saying.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, is there something to this?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then it gets even more interesting.
It does.
When Lou Elizondo,
Lou Elizondo,
a former Pentagon intelligence officer.
who ran ATIP,
Yeah. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program.
starts making statements about UAPs.
And this is where it gets really intriguing.
Oh.
Elizondo talked about UAPs exhibiting technology we just couldn't explain,
Right.
possibly using metamaterials.
Metamaterials.
Metamaterials, think of them as like building blocks.
Okay.
But they have special properties that could manipulate light or energy in ways we haven't figured out yet.
Oh, wow.
So some people started to draw parallels
Okay.
between this and what Lazar had claimed back in the 80s.
About the materials used in the craft.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. So it's like all these puzzle pieces.
Across decades.
Yeah, and they're finally starting to line up a little bit.
They are.
But then the Senate steps in and things escalate to a whole other level.
The Senate gets involved.
They get involved.
Yeah, this wasn't just like a casual inquiry.
Okay.
This was the Senate demanding a comprehensive report
On UAPs.
on UAPs from all the intelligence agencies.
Wow. Okay.
They wanted everything, radar data, eyewitness accounts, you name it.
And what they specifically asked for information on was breakthrough aerospace capabilities.
That could be a threat.
That could be a threat. Okay, so they're not playing around here.
They're not messing around.
They want to know if we're dealing with some crazy stuff.
Something truly extraordinary.
Yeah.
And this puts Lazar's story in a whole different light.
Right, because if the report
If this report,
confirms that there's tech out there
that's beyond anything we know.
that can't be attributed to, like, Russia or China,
Exactly.
what if Lazar was right?
Right. What if he was right?
What if the government has had access to alien technology all along?
That's a big question.
It's a huge what if.
It is.
But even if it doesn't go that far,
Right.
imagine if the report just says some of these UAPs are using tech.
We can't explain.
Yeah.
That would still be a game changer.
It would be huge.
It would force us to admit that we're not at the top
Of the technological food chain.
of the food chain.
Yeah.
That there are things out there we don't understand.
Right, and that our science...
Current scientific models might be incomplete.
Yeah. It would be humbling, but also incredibly exciting.
It would be like we have so much to learn.
Yeah.
It would usher in a whole new era
New era.
of scientific exploration.
And discovery.
Imagine all the resources
Yeah.
that would get poured into trying to understand this stuff.
Absolutely.
All the breakthroughs that could happen.
Yeah, it would be like the start of a sci-fi novel.
Right. It would be crazy.
But what I find fascinating
Yeah.
is that even amid all this speculation and debate,
Mm-hmm.
there's a growing number of scientists
Okay.
and former government officials
Wow.
who are urging a more serious and open-minded approach.
To studying UAPs.
Yes.
So like people that would never even say UFO.
A few years ago
Yeah.
are now openly acknowledging
That there's something strange happening.
in our skies
Yeah.
that deserves our attention.
And that's got to be because of
The sheer volume and credibility
Yeah,
of the recent reports.
for recent reports.
Yeah.
Plus, the Pentagon has admitted they don't have all the answers.
Right. It's becoming harder to just brush this off as like,
Misidentification.
yeah, or hoaxes or anything like
It's
that.
getting harder.
Yeah.
So where does this leave us with Bob Lazar?
So we've talked about Lazar's claims
Well-
and all this skepticism around it and how interest in his story has come back in a big way. And the government's even admitting now that there are UAPs. And then the Senate steps in with this huge investigation. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. But I want to shift gears a bit and think about what all of this means, like for us right now.
Right here, right now.
Yeah. You and me, the average person listening to this, what does it mean for us?
I think that is the most crucial question.
Yeah.
Like, if we even just entertain the possibility that Lazar's story is true,
Uh-huh.
or even just partially true,
Yeah.
it completely changes how we see technology.
And like where we fit in,
Our place in the universe.
it would be a huge shift.
Monument.
Yeah. Like imagine if back in the 50s, the government revealed that they had smartphones just hidden away.
Wow. Yeah.
Like tucked away in Area 51 or something.
That level of tech.
That's what we could be talking about with Lazar.
Exactly. That kind of jump.
Yeah. And think about what that means for us, like energy production,
Transportation.
healthcare even.
Our understanding of physics itself.
Yeah. Lazar talked about propulsion systems based on gravity,
Which is something
which we can't do.
completely outside our scientific capabilities.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder
It does.
if they have had this technology for decades, like Lazar says.
Why haven't we seen it?
Yeah, why haven't we seen it used to fix things like climate change?
Yeah, like where is it?
What are they waiting for?
That's where I think the speculation comes in.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theories start to take off.
Right. Are they keeping it secret for national security?
Right? What's the reason?
Are they worried about societal upheaval?
Is there something else going on that we don't even know about?
It's a mystery on top of a mystery.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's step back from the fringe theories for a sec.
Okay.
And consider this. What if the Senate report doesn't confirm alien tech,
Mm-hmm.
but it says that some UAPs are using tech that we can't explain?
Right, like we can't figure it out.
Yeah, where do we even go from there?
That's still a game changer.
It would be
Because then we have to acknowledge
that we're not at the top.
we're not at the top of the ladder.
Yeah, that there are things out there that we don't understand.
And that our science
Our science is incomplete.
might be, yeah.
That would be humbling, but also kind of exciting.
It would be so exciting.
Like we have so much to learn.
Imagine a whole new era
A whole new era.
of scientific exploration and discovery.
Yeah, think about the research and development that would happen.
It would be incredible.
The breakthroughs that we can't even imagine.
I can't even imagine
Yeah,
it.
it would be like a whole new chapter in human history.
It really would.
Okay,
Yeah.
but let's play devil's advocate here for a second. What if the Senate report comes out and says, nope, it's all normal, nothing to see here?
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Does that mean Bob Lazar is done?
That's the question, isn't it?
Do we finally put his story to rest?
I'm not so sure.
Really?
I think Lazar's story has become so ingrained in ufology and pop culture at this point
Mm-hmm.
that it's taken on a life of its own.
Right, it's like bigger than him now.
Plus, there's always that question
Yep.
of whether the government is holding back information.
Even from the Senate,
Yeah.
potentially.
Wow. Okay. So to sum it all up, what do we take away from all of this?
Yeah, what's the big takeaway for our listener today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that we are living in an extraordinary time.
That's for sure.
Our understanding of the universe and our place in it
Yeah,
is being challenged like never before.
like never before.
And the Bob Lazar story?
Whether he's telling the truth or not,
Right. It doesn't even matter at this point.
it's become a symbol of that challenge.
It's a reminder that there are still mysteries out there waiting to be uncovered.
And I love that.
Me too.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a question to think about.
Oh, good one.
What would the implications be if the Senate report confirms that there's technology out there far beyond what we currently understand?
What would it mean for humanity?
Yeah, it's a big question.
And it could have some profound implications.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always, keep looking up.